Yo, what's good YouTube? It's Boardsy, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a review of the Roccat Burst Pro. This is Roccat's newest mouse, and they did send it out to me. Obviously, that doesn't matter. But I would say that this is a mouse that is a serious, top contender. There are a few things that I'll get into that I think keep this mouse from being perfect. But for $60, it's essentially a full package out of the box, similar to the XM1. And I'll talk about some comparisons throughout the video, but I might do a dedicated comparison depending on what you guys want. So if you want to see a full comparison, maybe a comparison with the KPU as well, let me know. But yeah, $60, insanely affordable pricing. It was Roccat's first time actually putting on good mouse feet and a good cable. I fortunately took my cable off because I was offered a free paracord, and you know that ancient proverb, never deny a free paracord, so I installed it. I do not have the stock cable, but I'd say it's like an 8 out of 10. It's in a bungee, it is passable. You are not going to be hindered by it while playing. I'm not going to say it feels wireless because it doesn't, but you're not going to be bothered by your wire. It is solid. Roccat actually did a good job of implementing top features onto their mice. That was the one thing they lacked. So first, I'm going to talk about the build quality, and mine is solid all around. No creaking, no flexing, no matter how much force I put. But I actually do have a weird problem. For first time ever, I actually have a problem with the pre-travel on my clicks, but it's only towards the top of the mouse, and I don't really complain because literally where I click, down here, there's no pre-travel, but up here, there's certainly a good bit of pre-travel, and they just feel a bit wobbly. It's unfortunate, but it doesn't really affect me, and I doubt that's affecting many units, but I'm not going to leave that out. So the build quality, once again, it's a Roccat product. It is fucking solid. I could do shit like this all day, and it would never break on me. Now I'm going to talk about the aesthetics. This mouse is fucking ugly. I don't know why they went for this fake honeycomb RGB shine through when it really just isn't needed. Wait, let me unplug it. It just looks weird. I don't understand. Something looks off about this mouse. Why isn't there just the Roccat logo? If it was the same as the KPU, that would be based, but I don't know. It seems like they kind of regressed in the aesthetics department. Not that I really care about that, but it's just how do you get to this point? Now talking about weird aesthetics, I'm going to oh wait, fuck. Okay, yeah, I need it to light up. Now I'm going to talk about the sides, and this is another really weird thing. You can't feel anything, but you can see all of these little, are they hexagons or holes? I don't even know. Some shape, and they do give you a bit more grip on the sides, and it's solid. I'm not going to be complaining about that, but the coating where you actually put your palm and your index and middle finger, the coating's horrible. It's this cheap plasticky feeling coating that fucking absorbs sweat. It's a nightmare for me. So yeah, my palm gets really sweaty. It's not the same rubbery amazing coating that's on the KPU, which just fucking sucks. I don't understand. I certainly would have loved to have seen that on this mouse. But yeah, the coating, it is one of the problems in my opinion. The coating on the sides is great, and I mean, they could have just done something like this for the palm as well, or they could have just used the old coating. I'm not a fan of the coating in its current state, however. The side buttons, I didn't think they were good at first because they had a bit of travel and they were kind of weird. But they're extremely light. They're fucking huge and they're very easy to activate. If you need side buttons, these are probably gonna get the job done for you. So I take back what I said in the initial impressions. And same thing with the clicks. They're the weirdest clicks I've ever used. So pretty heavy. They feel very dull. Not much tactility. I'll do a sound test. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know. They just feel extremely dull. They have zero snappiness, and it's just usable, right? I could use it, but it's not fun to use. So I feel they could definitely be improved on in a future update of some sort, because it is Roccat's Titan optical switch. I believe they made it in collaboration with TTC. Could be wrong. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. But once again, it's their first try at an optical switch. We saw Razer did that, and then they updated it and made it better. So I'm just hoping Roccat follows in their steps. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it and be like, oh, they're trying. Like, it could be better. Now I'm going to talk about the shape. And this is a mouse that kind of surprised me. Everybody was comparing it to the XM1. So I was kind of expecting like a XM1 clone. But it is a full, like, shoe size bigger than the XM1. I don't know. The hump is very wide, and it just fills out more of your hand than the XM1 does. It causes this mouse to feel very wide, basically throughout the entire mouse. But you get like a solid grip, and this I'm talking about when you claw it. If you play anything else, this mouse really isn't for you. Palm grip, no mouse is for you. But fingertip, I hate this mouse for fingertip. So instead of complaining about it, I just stopped playing fingertip with this mouse and switched to claw. But for fingertip, it just feels way too like clunky, way too girthy, and it's just overall not something that you can be. It's not small. It's not that light. It's not something that's easy to be precise with while fingertipping. So I'm just not a fan. But going back to claw, it just feels very wide all around. It has these flat sides, which are like they're pretty like tall, so there's a ton of room for your ring finger and pinky on the right side, and people are big fans of this, especially if you have larger hands. Just having this much like girth, I guess, on the right side is going to be huge. I'm not saying this is straight up a more preferable shape than the XM1 for claw, but it does have some features that people are going to be fans of, especially if you have bigger hands. The XM1 has curved sides, which honestly I like. For fingertip, the mouse feels amazing, and when I claw it, it does feel like a bit smaller than the Burst Pro, but I don't have any issues like with my fingers on the right side. So really, I'm not going to do like a full comparison of the shapes, but I'm a huge fan of this shape for claw, and it just feels nice. I wouldn't recommend it for people with like under 19 centimeter hands though, and probably at least 9 centimeters wide, because this is just a wide mouse that you need a big hand to properly use it. Anybody saying you can use this mouse with small hands is fucking lying to you, in my humble opinion. But yeah, the mouse weighs 68 grams, so it's a very familiar weight. It's pretty small, though. Like, the weight isn't being distributed over a huge area. So it does feel like sort of dense, similar to the Zigen NP01. But it's nothing that like actually feels heavy or anything. It's a nice mouse to move around. The feet on the Burst Pro are actually Roccat's own like heat-treated PTFE feet. They are slightly tapered, and they're very smooth, very consistent to move around. But I kind of find them to be slow in actual use. Not like sluggish, but just slower than a lot of the other PTFE feet that I'm used to, regardless of like how much pressure I'm putting in. But they are nice and thick. I would say they definitely did a solid job with the feet, and they include a replacement pair as well, which is awesome. And yeah, really, I can't talk about the cable as I do not have it anymore. But it was solid. When I was using it, I wasn't complaining about it. The mouse feels like a bit more. It feels better with a paracord, obviously, but it's nothing that you're going to need to get. It's a minor improvement that doesn't mean anything in actual games. It just makes the mouse feel a bit nicer. Certainly not worth the $15 if you're like fucking pinching pennies for your mouse. But yeah, that's really going to be all. This mouse gets the Boardsy seal of approval. If you have big hands and play claw, give this mouse a try. And even like medium hands. If you're slightly dissatisfied with the XM1 in any way, just give the Burst Pro a shot. It's a mouse that I am a fan of. I don't like the clicks, and I fucking despise the coding. But other than that, this mouse, there's nothing to complain about. Scroll wheel is amazing. I forgot to talk about that. But yeah, now seriously going to be all. Make sure to leave a like and sub. Peace.